Robert Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds.
So Ryan Reynolds obviously has to be deported back to Canada. Once again, this is a way for the left and the right to come together, because no matter where you stand on the topic of mass deportations of illegals, we can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to...
Robert Downey Jr. has just made it clear he wants nothing to do with Ryan Reynolds. Why? Because according to whispers on the street, Ryan and Blake tried to set him up the same way they allegedly did with Justin Baldoni. Reports claim Ryan approached RDJ for a cameo, but Downey quickly saw through the lies and managed to sidestep what could have been a dangerous situation. And with Justin already exposing shocking truths about Hollywood's so-called golden couple, it looks like other celebrities are stepping up as well. Even Martha Stewart has weighed in, and what she had to say about Ryan wasn't flattering.
Adults members, what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with?
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Now, with RDJ seemingly siding with Justin, it looks like Ryan and Blake's empire may finally be collapsing. So what exactly did Downey say, and does he know something the rest of Hollywood doesn't? Here's what we know. Back when Ryan was building his dream list of stars for Deadpool 3, RDJ was at the very top. It made sense. After all, it doesn't get bigger than Iron Man himself. Screenwriters Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick even admitted they wrote a scene specifically with Downey in mind, and Ryan reportedly pulled out all the stops to convince him. He even read the script directly to him. But in the end, Downey turned it down flat.
Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds. Making the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman told Ryan Reynolds in 2021 he'd return as Wolverine after saying 4 years earlier he'd never come back doing the movie Logan. It was one of the most cameo-filled movies in history, where 45 different actors from both the MCU and the Fox universe returned for Deadpool and Wolverine. But one actor Ryan Reynolds asked to return for Deadpool and Wolverine was Robert Downey Jr., saying he wanted him to share a scene with Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau does actually have a very big scene in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, but that scene was originally written with Robert Downey Jr. taking the main stage and Jon Favreau only being a small part of it. He even wrote the scene in 2018 just so it would make sense for Robert Downey Jr.'s character to be in there, because it does take place before the events of Avengers Infinity War. When Ryan Reynolds approached Robert Downey Jr. with the script, he said he was completely shocked he got an instant no. The reason was Robert Downey Jr. was already in talks to return as Dr. Doom, but he couldn't tell Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds said he didn't know about that until it was revealed, but now is happy for him and said he wants to fight him.
To be fair, Ryan gave him the hard sell. Scripts were written, scenes were pitched, and Downey read them all. The official excuse floating around is tied to Marvel's Dr. Doom storyline, but fans aren't buying it. Why? Because the last few months have pulled back the curtain on Ryan Reynolds, and the truth is hitting hard. He's not the charming, nice guy persona he's been selling for years. Don't believe it? Just ask Candace Owens. She claims a source told her that Ryan himself was the one who set the whole Blake and Justin fiasco into motion from the start.
Owens posted to her story saying she spoke to a source that claims Ryan Reynolds is the problem. She said the tip came from someone who allegedly worked on the set and said lately everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain of the saga is Ryan. This person is alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that they filmed for the day. And he also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. This person claims that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. And then she says the next part was alleged in their lawsuits that Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to her husband's anger, began inserting themselves in the effort to change lines and change scenes. And of course, the allegation that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of Justin Baldoni in his movie when he played the character Nice Pool. And we did hear this, I believe, from Justin's lawsuit, but correct me if I'm wrong, but she also says that allegedly Ryan presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni. Basically saying that it's us or him. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is what Justin Baldoni also alleged And I think he said it happened either at the premiere of It Ends With Us or the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously, she says we know what happens next. He gets dropped by WME. Wayfarer Studios had effectively been instantly blackballed, persona non grata in Hollywood instantly, and truly they had done nothing wrong but cast a woman into one of their movies with an allegedly very jealous husband. My source says that Justin Baldoni is legitimately a good guy who truly wanted to do this project, but he cares deeply about women issues. And she goes on to give what she believes. She says, I think Blake was fine with everything in the movie she signed on for, hence not requesting an intimacy coordinator, and then all that changed the day her husband showed up on set and allegedly blew a fuse. She also believes that it was probably him that demanded Justin be put in the basement for the premiere.
And no, Candace Owens isn't exaggerating. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit makes eerily similar allegations. According to court filings on July 22, 2024, during the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere afterparty, Ryan Reynolds allegedly approached a senior executive at WME and expressed his deep disdain for Baldoni, going so far as to imply that the agency was protecting someone dangerous. The fact that Ryan was the one inviting these industry figures in the first place is raising serious red flags.
If he wants to go after you, he infests himself into every area of your life. And he did this, Justin Baldoni. He's like, who are your friends? Okay. Who owns the production company? Who owns the next movie script? I am going to infest myself everywhere. I'm going to be doing your movie premiere. I'm going to be doing promos and making fun of you, right? I'm going to put myself in the end credits. Like, this is like psychotic behavior.
But that's just scratching the surface. Candace isn't the only one calling Ryan out. With the industry already rocked by scandal, more and more celebrities are stepping out of the shadows. After all, what's the point of staying silent when the public already knows half the truth? Take Martha Stewart, for instance. She recently made a cutting remark that Ryan isn't the funny guy the world believes him to be. On the surface, it sounded like playful shade. But was it really?
He asked Bilt's members what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with.
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Really?
No, he's not so funny. He's very serious. No, Taylor, then I would do Snoop, and then I would take Ryan off it. And I would put in somebody else.
I'm so surprised that Ryan Reynolds isn't funny. This is like a shocker to me. I see him
he's a
walking
good
up
actor.
and down our neighborhood all the time.
He can act funny. But he isn't funny. Maybe he can get to be funny again.
I'm so disappointed, actually.
I'm going to get in trouble.
It's because many online believe Martha's jab wasn't about Ryan's humor at all. It was a coded warning. What she really meant, according to speculation, is that Ryan isn't a harmless prankster, but a manipulative figure with serious control issues. Sounds extreme? Maybe. But before dismissing it, consider what his own co-stars have said. Morena Baccarin, who starred in the first Deadpool film, quietly faded into the background in later installments. While she spoke diplomatically about being disappointed by her limited role, insider reports suggest Ryan himself pulled strings to sideline her, allegedly giving her the same Justin Baldoni treatment by barring her from press events and freezing her out of the spotlight.
News. It's all coming out in the wash. So Blake Lively, what she did to Justin Baldoni, guess what? She learned it from Ryan. Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to Marina, her last name is Baccarin, who also was in Deadpool. You remember when she made Justin Baldoni go sit in the basement with his family for the movie premiere? Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to Marina and her family. He did not allow her to be part of any of the movie's premieres for Deadpool.
Morena was actually this close to landing a much bigger role in the Deadpool franchise. But Ryan, he wasn't having it. He and the director clashed over the idea, yet when the dust settled, Ryan got his way. The result? Morena was sidelined, reduced to the background, while her character's potential was quietly erased.
Dug a little bit more, and the director of Deadpool, Tim Miller, did this interview and said that he left the Deadpool franchise because of Ryan Reynolds. He said it became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise. You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There's too many to make. So Ryan's the face of the franchise, so if he decides that he wants to control it, then he's going to control it. Sounds familiar. Yeah, it does.
And Morena wasn't the only one forced to take a back seat. Remember TJ Miller, Weasel from the first two Deadpool films? He spent most of his time looking in from the outside, thanks in large part to Ryan's behavior. Back in 2022, Miller went public on The Adam Carolla Show, revealing that working with Reynolds was far from pleasant. According to him, Ryan's on-set demeanor was so unsettling it mirrored his character. Horrifically mean, belittling him as if he were nothing more than the exposition guy there to set up the star. Miller made it clear, not even double the paycheck could tempt him back for Deadpool.
After he got super, super famous from the first Deadpool, then things kind of changed. I think he was like, see, you guys see. And then I think I don't know. I mean, would I work with him again? No.
No,
I would not work with him.
That much vitriol.
But I've said that about Michael Bay, and now we're friends, and I would work with him again. But I think Michael Bay is different. And Michael Bay worked on a movie with Ryan Reynolds also. And so he has a very specific opinion.
That may mirror
of
your
Ryan
own.
Reynolds. And that was a good part of our last conversation with me and Bay. But I sort of wish him well because he's so good at Deadpool. And I think it's weird that he hates.
Digging deeper, Miller claimed that beneath Ryan's charming, polished exterior was something else entirely: insecurity. Strip away the layers, and what you found wasn't a funny, confident star, but a man who fed on putting others down to make himself feel bigger.
Felt it coming from him.
Everybody did. That's why it was awkward. Everybody was like, why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is like, maybe he got, I think he's kind of an insecure dude. He's really nice, but I mean, his Twitter bio is showing you the parts of me that tested the best in focus groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that he's joking.
So,
I think that might actually be his real sentiment.
And Ryan's not the only one with that reputation. According to industry whispers, his wife Blake Lively plays the same game. Behind the glamorous facade, she's seen as a control freak, pulling strings in ways most don't realize. If that sounds hard to believe, just ask Anna Kendrick. The two first teamed up for A Simple Favor back in 2018. And though they're reuniting for the sequel, fans are convinced Anna didn't exactly jump at the chance to work with Blake again.
What does it mean to be back with Anna? Oh, it's the best. I'm so happy. Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again? We're talking about you all day. Oh my God. Oh, come on. Get it in something up.
The way Anna dodged questions about working with Blake only fueled speculation that she's not thrilled about the reunion. And insiders have been saying the same thing for months. Behind the scenes, tensions between the two have been boiling over. One source even described it as a gigantic pink elephant in the room that nobody wants to acknowledge. Early promo backlash has been brutal, with protests and audiences threatening boycotts. Executives originally planned for Blake and Anna to promote A Simple Favor 2 side by side, but Anna is now pushing to go it alone. Why? She doesn't want every interview hijacked by questions about Blake's lawsuit or to be dragged into a Lively versus Baldoni circus.